Joe Denley scored his first 100 as a Middlesex player, and Worcestershire's Alan Richardson took yet another 5-wicket haul as the LV County Championship match at Lords meandered after only 40 overs were possible on the first 2 days. Middlesex had made 148 for 2 in that time, and they soon found themselves in a spot of trouble, in spite of Denley advancing from his overnight score of 34 with an early boundary. The home side lost 3 quick wickets after seeing out the first half hour. Chris Rogers edged David Lucas behind to the former Middlesex keeper Ben Scott. Davin Malam followed for a duck with a nick to Vikram Solanki at first slip. And next ball, Neil Dexter misjudged a delivery from Richardson to be bowled without playing a shot. That left Middlesex on 172 for 5, but Denley was still there and he reached his 50 off his 94th delivery. He got there with his 9th boundary. He nearly perished soon afterwards, but a thick edge flew wide of the slips to allow his innings to continue. And what a good one it was! After joining Middlesex from Kent in the winter, Denley admitted that his England days are not yet behind him. Innings like this in front of the England captain can only help his confidence. After a break for the weather, Middlesex lost John Simpson with a total on 210. That nick behind gave Richardson his 4th wicket. He was denied his 5th at this point by Denley, who was looking more and more comfortable as his innings went on. He was producing some classic shots, the kind of which had brought him into the England selectors' attention a few years ago. He now moved with few alarms into the 90s. And his first Middlesex 100 was reached with a delightful on drive off Richard Jones. He'd needed only 59 balls for his second 50, with his ton coming off 153, that being his 17th 4. It was just what he needed to kick-start the second part of his career. Gareth Berg at the other end has really struggled with the bat thus far, but he had a life here as he was dropped at point. And he started to make the most of that let-off with some terrific shots as Middlesex just began to pick up the pace as they went in search of more batting bonus points, something which has tended to prove crucial come the end of the season. By now, Denley was seeing the ball as if it was the size of a house. In 20 overs, he and Berg added 88 for the 7th wicket. Richardson took the second new ball and he soon claimed his 3rd 5-wicket haul of the season already by having Berg caught behind for a season's best 36. Not even Richardson could upset Denley, who smashed him for a 6 as Middlesex looked for quick runs before the declaration came, with them on 327 for 7. Denley was left unbeaten on 134, while Richardson, on the day before his 37th birthday, claimed 5 for 89 from 33 overs to take his tally this season to 24. Worcestershire had 29 overs of the day left. Their one target really was to get to 178 to avoid the follow-on, something they've not managed to do in any first innings this year. Daryl Mitchell was beaten all ends up by Tim Murtagh, before the bowler found the edge of Mike Klinger's bat, only for him to be dropped by Andrew Strauss in the slips. Stephen Finn was generating some pace from the pavilion end, and Mitchell did well to avoid a vicious bouncer, which was deflected for leg byes. Still, the two openers were able to get their side off to a decent start with a partnership of 39. But before bad light ended the day early, Middlesex gave themselves just a slither of hope as Mitchell turned a leg side ball from Murtagh into the hands of Dexter to go for 14. And Toby Roland-Jones then had Klinger taken by Sam Robson on 17 to leave the visitors on 45 for 2. That turned out to be the last ball of the day as the light drove the players off after 16.5 overs. So we go into the final day of a weather-ruined match with Worcestershire 282 runs behind. Unless the Middlesex bowlers produce something quite remarkable on the final day, then this surely will be a dull draw.